Let's start with chapter 5, scanning. So, what is scanning? Scanning is an active technique used for information gathering. Because of the importance of this step, it is sometimes referred to as post-reconnaissance and pre-attack. The information that can be found in scanning is active IP address from a range, operating systems, system architecture and service running, and ports open on that computer. Let's see the type of scanning. There are three types of scanning which we will discuss in this module: port scanning, network scanning, and vulnerability scanning. Let's see the difference between network scanning and port scanning. During network scanning, we scan the entire network for different subnets and for the active host on those subnets and given network range. Network scanning involves ping sweep scan to scan the entire network. There are some sophisticated tools available such as Nmap that can draw the network diagram based on the type of data packet received from different active devices on the network. During port scanning, we scan and enumerate the open and archive, or we can say the active ports of individual machine or system. This is generally done by the network administrator in order to troubleshoot the network problem and to check whether particular service running on that machine are correct. What are the objective and benefit of scanning? By scanning the remote machine, we can find the open ports of machine, services installed in remote machine, and the version of services installed. By using spatial scanning tool, we can also find operating system of the remote machine. The benefit of scanning is to find the open port which can be used for further exploitation. As we have already discussed three-way handshake in networking, let's have one more look on it. In three-way handshake, the client machine send packet to the server machine and server machine replies with send ACK packet. Then the client machine revert back with acknowledgement packet. This type of conversation inform the machine that both ends are ready for communication. You can send the data packets. Take a look on the highlight of classification of scanning. TCP connect scan, half open or TCP SYN scanning, steal scanning, bounce attack scanning, SYN or FIN scanning, UDP scanning, ICMP scanning, reverse ident scanning, idle scan, list scan, RPC scan, ping sweep scan. Let's start with TCP connect scan. TCP connect is the most reliable form of TCP scan. TCP connect will check whether a port is open or closed by using TCP protocol flags. If the port is open, then the connected command work. If the port is closed, the connected command unreachable. Note that the operating system provides the connect system call, which is used by the TCP connect method to check whether the port is open or closed. What is SYN steal scan or half open scan? SYN steal scan is also known as half open scan because it does not establish a full connection with the target machine. During this scan, the attacker first sends the SYN packet to a particular port of the target as a request to create a new connection and then wait for a reply. If the port reply back with SYN ACK flag set, this confirms that the port is open and being used. However, if we receive the RST flag, which is called the reset flag set, then this would means that the port is closed. One advantage of this particular scan is that in many services and systems, unsuccessful connections are not logged. This means that the scan would go undetected. Next scan is FIN steal scan. During a FIN steal scan, the attacker sends FIN flag set data packet. If that port is open, it would not send any data packet back. If it is closed, it will reply you back with FIN packet. Advantage of using FIN Steal Scan: it is also seen that some application or service do not reply with SYN request during TCP Connect scan. Hence, it is beneficial to use FIN Steal Scan. Next scan is FTP bounce scan. This type of port scanning is only possible when there is a bounce attack vulnerability on the FTP server. Bounce attack vulnerability allow the attacker to use the FTP server to port scan the target system, acting as a sort of proxy in between. This type of scan provides anonymity to the attacker and is hard to trace back comparatively. You can see the diagram of FTP bounce scan. Here the target is affected by FTP bounce vulnerability. That's why we get the result of the scan. Next scanning is SYN or FIN scanning. During a SYN or FIN scan, the TCP headers are split into various fragments. SYN-FIN is a type of scan which is not new, but instead it is combination of SYN steal scan and FIN steal scan. Next scanning is UDP scanning. This scanning process simply uses the UDP protocol instead of the TCP protocol, which has been mentioned in the previous example. The scanning process is much more complicated than TCP scanning since UDP is the connectionless protocol. During UDP scan, open port do not send any acknowledgement in reply to our request, while closed port send an ICMP port unreached error when we send a request to a closed UDP port. Next scanning is ICMP scanning. ICMP scanning is a type of scanning method which sends ICMP packets to all machines on the network to determine active host on the network. In order to quickly complete a process, ICMP packets are sent to multiple nodes at the same time. Time can be further reduced by altering the timeout value of the scan. These are all about the ICMP scanning. Let's discuss reverse ident scan. Reverse ident scan help us in identifying the user who owns the process. That is, it determines the username of the owner of any process connected via TCP. Please note that it can work in a reverse manner as well. The server can also run an IDN query on the user connecting to it. List scan and ideal scan. Let's discuss list scan. List scan use DNS name resolution to generate and print a list of IP addresses or name without actually pinging or scanning any port on the target machine. Ideal scan is a blind port scanning technique. The attacker can create a botnet or botnets of zombies which in turn scan the port of the target machine. Intrusion detection system, if they are installed on the target machine, point to the innocent zombies as an attacker. Hence, attackers scan the large target network without sending a single packet to the target network themselves. This provides high degree of steal. What is RPC scan? Remote procedure call scan is used to check and identify the RPC applications. But before running this scan, a full list of open port should be available for the scan. RPC scan sends an RPC null request to each port to provoke a response from any RPC application that might be running. What is operating system fingerprinting? Operating system fingerprinting is a technique of scanning which is used to determine the operating system on the target machine. There are various methods by which one can detect the underlying operating system. banner grabbing, the FTP, SSH, HTTP servers. By evaluating the TTL value of the ICMP packets or even by TCP and UDP response behavior. Operating system fingerprinting can be classified as passive and active fingerprinting. What is ping sweep? Ping sweep is a process which is used for enlisting live hosts in a network. It consists of ICMP echo requests sent to multiple hosts. If a system is live, it will send back ICMP echo reply. Ping utility is often used to check if a network device is functioning or not. To disable ping sweep on a network, administrator can block ICMP echo request using firewall. How you will define a wall dialer technique? Wall dialing is a technique of using a modem to automatically scan a list of telephone numbers, segregating the telephone number which are connected to a computer and regulate phone connections which are being answered by humans and answering machines. Once a list of active computer system is obtained, attacker can use many techniques to hack into the system. What is anonymizer? Anonymizer keep your online activity safe, private and secure. A black hat hacker use various tools to hide identity so that it cannot be identified. Tools used for anonymizer are Hotspot Shield, Tor browser and security keys. You can see the picture website name t1shopper.com, which is used for scanning a host name or an IP address. It is free online service which give you the detail of the port state, whether it is open or closed. Next picture is of ugetsignal.com. It is also used for information gathering. By using ugetsignal, you can find out IP address of the domain, port information, visual traceroute details, and reverse IP domain check. There is one more tool named MITAC Network Scanner, which is used for scanning the network and provide details of open port, IP address, MAC addresses, domain name of machine, etc. Let's look into the demonstration of a scanning within a moment. Let's start the demonstration of Nmap through command prompt. First, we have to move to the directory of Nmap. So cd space, let's start. Cd space program file. After that, cd space Nmap. Now we are in the Nmap directory. Let's start with the TCP connect scan. This has a command nmap space -s capital T space the IP address of a remote machine which we are going to scan. Right now I'm going to scan an IP address of 192.168.0.127. Let's wait for the result. When these scan take times. So what we will get after the scan, we will get, this is called the TCP connect scan. We will get the port numbers, their state, and the services running on that port number. And we also get the MAC address of a remote machine which we are scanning. Right now we are scanning machine 192.168.0.127. As you put enter, you will get the time, how much time it will take to give you the result. So we have to wait for 3.14 minutes. Now 2 minutes 14 seconds remaining, and 41.98% scanning is completed. Still 1 minute 6 seconds remaining. Okay, now we'll get the result. We got the port number 135, state is open, and the service is Microsoft RPC. In the same way, we got the port number 139, 145, 1034, and 2869. These are the port number which are in open state condition, and the services running on that ports are listed in front of them. We have a MAC address of the machine, remote machine. This is the MAC address of a machine. So by using the TCP Connect scan, we will get the port number, their state, and their services running on that port. So now we have a second scan. Now we already discovered the port number, state, and the service. Now we have to find out the version of the services which are running. Okay, for that, let's start. I type a command nmap space switch. I used smallest capital V space the IP address of a remote machine. Now this command gives us the versions of the services are running on the remote machine. This version are very useful for us. Let's wait for the result. Now we will get the result. We have seen the port numbers, port number 135, the state is open, services is Microsoft RPC, and their version is Microsoft Windows RPC. As we can see that now we have one more column listed, is this one, version. Okay, so by using this command nmap space -s capital V and the IP address of a remote machine, we will get the port number, their state, service, and their versions. See, you can see that here we have the MAC address also. Okay, now we have to find out the operating system of a remote machine. For that, we have a command nmap space capital O space 192.168.0.127. This is an IP address of a remote machine. So let's find out the operating system of a remote machine. Let's see, by using that command, we have the same information which we will get from the TCP Connect scan. And now we have an operating system. See, we have Microsoft Windows XP 2000 XP or 2003. I am running right now XP Service Pack 3. Okay, the remote machine have XP Service Pack 3. So we have the information that we have MAC address, their port numbers, their services, and their operating system, which are very helpful to us. These information will be helpful to us to write an exploit and to perform any action on the remote machine. We can also do the same scanning. Right now, what we have seen that it will take a lot of time to give the result. We have one command to give us the result, fast result as compared to the previous commands. We have nmap space capital F space 192.168.0.127, which is the IP address of a remote machine. This is called fast scanning. Let's see, by using the fast scanning, we will get the result quite fast as compared to the other scan. In this scanning, we will have the information. We get the port number, their state, and their services, and the MAC address. We have one more scan, acknowledgement scan. It can take a lot of time. Let's see. But the information available in the acknowledgement scan is quite helpful. For that, we have a command. We are using -s capital A and the IP address of a remote machine. Now wait for the result. Now we have information by the acknowledgement command. We'll get the MAC address of a machine. It will scan all 1000 scan ports. Okay, they will scan the IP address. So by using these commands, we will get the information which can be helpful for us in the future. So this is called the port scanning by using the tool Nmap. Let's start with the demonstration of ZenMap. Here you can see in the left corner we have a target. We have to put the domain of the target machine. The domain name is www.innobuzz.in. This is the profile, which type of scan you want. We have a lot of options. We have ping scan, we have quick scan, we have intense scan, we have a regular scan. So right now I'm taking the intense scan, and let's start scanning. The scanning will take a lot of time. So we know that in this port scanning, you will get the port numbers, their states, okay, their states open or closed, and the services running on that ports. You will get the operating system of a remote machine, which operating system are running, and we use these services or these information for further in the exploitation part. Let's see, we have a result. We have discovered open ports. We have port number 22, 110, 143, 53, port number 993. Let's wait for the result as we get the complete result. If you see the tabs, there is the output. In the second tab, we have this port number and host, topologies, host details. So we will see one by one what these tabs are. Right now, the scanning will try to detect the operating system. Okay, we will do the same thing by using the command prompt also. Right now, we are using the graphical version of Nmap, which is called ZenMap. Let's wait for the result. Okay, now scan completed. Let's see. You can see or compare the result from here. Or if you want to see it clearly, then come to there. There is a tab, port and host. Let's see. We have the port number. Okay, port number 21, their state is open. Service running on the port number 21 is FTP, and their version is pure FTPD. In that way, we have port number 22, 23, 25, and service running on that port number. We have on 25 we have SMTP, and their version is we have a version of the services running on that port. So by that way, we can find out the port numbers running on the remote machine. We can find out the port number of a server and the services running on that port and their version also. It will help us to write the exploit. We'll see the topology. Let's see, this is the local machine, this is my machine, this is my gateway. After that, as you switch, This is the Innobus.in and has an IP address of 66.232.121.90. So this is the trace route complete path. If we see the host detail, what we got? We get the host detail. It has Linux 2.6.8. Let's see the accurate information of the remote machine. See the operating system fingerprinting we have. We have a vendor of Linux, OS family Linux, operating system generation 2.6.x, and the accuracy is 95%. So by using Nmap, the graphical version of Zenmap, we can find a lot of information about the ports, the services running on that ports, their MAC address. If we scan the remote machine, we can also find the MAC address also. We can find the operating system working on running on that remote machine. So it will be very helpful information for us in the future. So we will use this information in the future for the exploitation or which port we are going to use for further exploitations. Let's start the demonstration of tool WhatsApp port scanner. In the target, you have to put the IP address or domain name of a target machine or the target website. Right now, I'm taking the domain name of Innobus.in. In the Discover, you can do the type of scanning: TCP scan, UDP plus TCP scan both. Right now, I'm taking the TCP scan. In the TCP scan, we can select the well-known ports, specified port, or all ports. If you put the all ports, it will scan from port number 0 to 65,535 ports, means it will complete all the ports of a machine. Right now, I'm taking the well-known ports, which are quite common in the machine, and let's start scanning. See, it starts scanning. We will get the 11 open ports and 161 closed ports. Still it's running. Let's check the result. See, you will get the result. You will get the list of port number. The protocol is TCP because we scan the TCP connect scan. State is open, and the service is running on that port. On port number 21 is FTP, 22 is SSH, 22 is SMTP, 53 is domain. Port number 80 is HTTP. Port number 110 is POP3, which is called the Post Office Protocol. In 143 is IMAP, 443 is HTTPS, 993 is IMAP-S, which is Secure IMAP Service, 995 is POP3S, it is Secure Post Office Protocol version 3. So by using the WhatsApp port scanner, we can find a lot of information. We can find out the port number and the services running on that port. You can also export the list. You can also export the result by clicking on there. You can select the location where you want to show, where you want to store the log files and save it. So this is one more tool for the scanning and to get the result. Let's start the demonstration of IP scan. This is a tool. Right click, run as administrator. By using this IP scan tool, which is called Angry IP Scanner, we can find out the live host in our network. This is the IP range. We have to give the IP range. We can give it from 192.168, your network address 0.1, up to 254. But right now I'm scanning only first 100 machines, and I want to find out the live machines in my network, which range from 1 to 100. Let's start. Now we have to wait for the result. Let's check. So we'll got the result, our scan completed, and after scan we will get the result that we have total time span 55 seconds and average time to scan per machine is 0.5. IP range is from 0 to 100, which I have already given in the range. host scan 100 and the live host is 13. We have seen the list of the live hosts which are right now working in my network. You can also check it by right click and open. We can also ping the machine by using this. See, it means that machine is live. So this is a demonstration of Angry IP Scanner by which we can find out the live host in our network.